Hey guys, Basil here. Diablo 4 may well be on the horizon for us, and I've been thinking a lot about the Diablo videos that I've created. While it's easy to sit here and hate on Activision Blizzard and what they've done in the past 5 to 6 years, I feel that I want to step away from that for a while and just talk about what each entry in the series has to offer as far as lessons go. Diablo 1, the granddaddy of online gaming and the series itself, has a lot to say in this regard. I've watched some live interviews of David Brevik and what they went through during the development process, and it's really eye-opening how difficult it was to create this masterpiece. I mean, its value to the gaming world cannot be understated, and as I said in my review of Diablo 1, it catapulted the world into online interaction. It was one of the first games to seamlessly offer an online service so elegant, and not only that, it pushed the ARPG genre to the foray of the gaming sphere, pushing aside what was popular at the time, which was turn-based combat, for a higher intensity atmosphere. The game as a whole is still enjoyable to this day, even if it could use an HD update with some quality of life additions. Go check out my review of the Beelzebub HD Diablo 1 mod. But there are 3 major contributing factors to it aging like a fine wine, and I'll go into each one in detail, as the developers of Diablo 4 need to learn as much as possible from each entry. Subtlety and isolation. One of the core attributes of Diablo 1 is its ability to isolate you and make you feel alone. Even though there are villagers with you and there's seemingly a town to retreat to when needed, there is this feeling of dread as you wander, a sinister feeling that follows you everywhere. The villagers' conversations constantly hint at this impending doom. Deckard Cain's unrelenting knowledge of demons, Farnham's psychologically scarred mind, Pepin's attempts to keep all of the villagers healthy, the isolated witch Adria and crippled Ward, and even Griswold, who was basically my safe space in Diablo 1, told personal stories of horror. You got to know everyone in this town, yet you never felt comfortable. Neither did they. It's apparent that this was Blizzard's intentions too. Just the color, tone, music, voice acting, and storytelling hammered the isolation home. Diablo 4 needs to make sure that it's following this act. Be subtle. Not everything has to be overly dramatic in a horror ARPG. Darkness. I mean this in every sense of the word. I'm talking metaphorical darkness and literal darkness. There are times when I'm walking around in Diablo 1 and I cannot see anything. Your mind will rush and wonder if there's really anything out there. Are there enemies? Or is it just your imagination? Not to mention the dark tales and histories of each character are exactly what Diablo 4 needs. Farnham being part of the Butcher Hunt is one of the saddest stories within the Diabloverse. It's literally why he's called Farnham the Drunk. He drinks his sorrows away because he witnessed every one of his friends getting cleaved, maimed, and dragged into the Butcher's room. I've talked about this before in my previous videos, but despite Diablo 2 being a masterpiece, it still hasn't recaptured this kind of dark thematic. Diablo 3 was absolutely another step beyond that. There's a very special and horrifying tone to Diablo 1 that few other games achieve. This isn't nostalgia talking. The game was simply created to disturb its player base. To take the principles of the Christian ethos and to twist them took guts. I'm honestly surprised there wasn't more backlash for this game being created. To take something that was supposed to be holy, like a church, and send its player base into a never-ending labyrinth of undead and demons, it's just unsettling. Not to mention how well the first 2 songs that you hear in the game set the scene perfectly. People's personal connections to Christianity certainly made this game more intense. Blizzard can learn so much from the physical and mental atmosphere of the original. Pacing. Another problem that I've seen from the Diablo series is its inability to properly pace the player throughout the game. Now, I feel that this problem has progressively gotten worse as time has gone on. The speed of your character, how fast you achieve powerful moves and abilities, and the immediate dramatics of the story are just unnecessary. It makes the game feel more like a joke in an arcade game than it does as an entry into one of the darkest titles in gaming history. Power is good, yes, but you should be paced in how you achieve that power. Within Diablo 1, it took quite a while before you felt true power. And not only that, being able to walk kind of slowed the game down significantly. Not that I think that part of the game was a good thing. Anyways, the current overall pace of Diablo has reached what I could describe as a breaking point. You shouldn't be steamrolling 50 to 100 monsters in a split second and having a counter for it. Now, I get that there's a high level of intensity for maintaining a kill streak, but is that what Diablo is about now? In the first game of the series, you took your time and explored the edges of the cathedral before you moved on. You stepped through the catacombs carefully and eventually uncovered the caves that led to hell itself. This game is smaller in scope than Diablo 2 and 3, however, because of this, Diablo 1 achieved a satisfying pace that let horror actually exist within its game. Activision Blizzard needs to reconsider this when creating their next game. So there are 3 things that Blizzard should learn from Diablo 1. The game is just such a landmark title for gaming history, and they need to be more introspective here, and really look at the reasons that Diablo even exists. The first entry did so many things right, and while you can pick at some smaller aspects of its age, its popularity cannot be denied. People remember this game for nostalgic reasons, but it has a lot that the other 2 games don't. Tristram has been engraved into our memories, and also those first few steps into the cathedral. Hearing those famous words, the sanctity of this place has been fouled. Thanks for checking out the video, everyone. Stick around for my next video where I'll list 3 things that Diablo 4 can learn from Diablo 2. Hey, I'm Basil. The Retro Bros have a lot more content coming your way, so until next time, thanks for watching.